in a door. And they had a representative that they had sent to Skagway specifically to find somebody to build a railway. Now, at the same time, there was a guy, his name was Henny, Heney. And Henny worked for many railroads throughout his life and helped build them. And they were looking to build a railway, actually, from Edmonton up to the goldfields. Well, while Henny was up here working and surveying, he decided to go down to Skagway. And when he did, he surveyed the land, the path. Well, when he got to Skagway, he checked into the St. James Hotel. Do you guys remember me actually pointing that out to you?
Yes.
Yep.
And he had told the clerk why he was there. Well, right away, they got him in touch with that representative from the Close Brothers. And these two guys talked, and by the time the sun came up, they toasted and the deal for the railway was made. So it was built, engineered by Canadians, financed by the British, and whoever they could get worked on it. And it was mainly the gold rushers that came up. They'd run out of money, they'd work on the railroad for a while, and then they'd continue their journey. 3,500 people worked on the railway, but never more than 1,200 at a time. It took 2 years, 2 months, and 2 days to complete. 10 people lost their lives, and they used 10 tons of blasting powder. Okay? Now, by the time the railway was complete, the gold rush was over. But because Skagway had the deep harbor and it had the railway, Skagway became the predominant town. Even though Dyea was the first town, it has a big tidal flat, and when they did build a pier out there, it was over a mile long. So Skagway, 2 piers, deep harbor, railroad, and even though the gold rush was over, that doesn't mean they weren't pulling ore out. And now they could bring supplies in. So the railway did fine. Now, in the early 1900s, when they found silver in Montana Mountain, that was all shipped up, everything to do that work. And all that ore came out. Railway was making a ton of money. Now, during World War II, I don't know if you guys realize this or not, but the U.S. was invaded by Japan on the Aleutian Chain, 2 islands, Adak and Attu. Well, when the Japanese invaded the Aleutian Chain, they decided to build a highway, and it's called the Alaskan Highway. It stands for the Alaskan Canadian Highway. It's 1,700 miles long, and it was built in 3 sections, from the top down, the bottom up, and the middle out. 900 miles of that highway was built with troops and supplies that came into Skagway Harbor and then came up on the railroad. Now, when this road was built in 1978, all of a sudden it was cheaper to ship things by road. And the railway hit financial crisis. It actually wound up shutting down for about 3 years. At that same time, that's when tourism really started to snowball a little bit. So the railway was bought by a Canadian company, a company that is heavily invested in exclusive golf courses in the U.S. And now it's open only from May to September, strictly as a tourist train, and it no longer runs to Whitehorse, only to Carcross.
Wow.